Okay guys, remember to put your safety glasses on. We are dealing with what's going to be metal shavings flying all over. Again, this is the TV mount for my TV. It's the echo-worthy TV mount. And what I want you to know, I'm cutting 5 inches off to make it fit in my specific spot in the RV below my window. If I don't, it sticks up 5 inches above my window into my window frame, and I don't want that. This is the wire that is the limit switch that comes way up here. I've got it pulled back here. I'll deal with that later. But we're going to cut this first, and then we'll continue on. Now, if this makes you nervous and you're doing this job and it's your $265 lift, you may have some trepidation about it, as I do. I don't want to ruin it because I just spent the $265, but I really don't think I'm going to do anything that's going to harm it that I can't at least use it for my TV because my TV's short. All right, let's get started cutting. No turning back now, guys. No turning back now. So this is the part, I knew I was going to do this. This is the part I can't really recreate. But I think I can drill a hole through the middle of this a little bit and use a self-tapping screw to hold the bearing on. I think that's the plan anyway. So this plastic piece holds this bearing. Well, the bearing had a hub here on the other piece. So what it had is this sat in here, this sat on here, and therefore it kept it in space rather than wiggling around a whole lot. I don't have the ability to recreate this. I guess I could grind it a long time on just grinding around it, but I can't do that. And I think it would not turn out as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. This already has a hole in the back end to help push it out. But I'm going to drill this onto here. This will screw into here. And that'll hold this bar into place rather than wiggling around when it sits back on here. Just a different method of doing it. I wasn't sure which way I was going when I was thinking about it last night. And this is the route I'm taking. Certainly deep enough. Especially considering I got that bushing and everything else, or that bearing and everything else going to be in the way. I almost never do something where I don't break a drill bit. Knock on wood, man, I did not break a drill bit. Have to dig all that out. What a pain. No, I don't have a tap and die set. If I did, I would probably try to tap it out. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to bite. Okay, I might have to get some screws for this and maybe a different bit. That might not be the right bit. This will go in here. That'll flatten out. I can work with that. I don't really think that's a problem. The way I have to do it, because I don't have, I mean, I could take it apart and shorten it a ½ inch and then this plate would go on, but I don't really need that because I have these two little plates here that work just fine. Holds it real stiff, it's fine. So this, you can cut that bar, that screw, it's a screw in there, like a track screw for a garage. You could cut that another ½ inch shorter, and this would go in. What I've done is, once I got that cut in half, I just bored a little hole straight in it a little ways, and then I took a self-tapping screw that was real close to the diameter, and I self-tapped it in there, and it's behind these two screws, three screws right here, and this is holding the plate on. So very simple to do. The problem I had is this is the echo-worthy, you can see here's a little bit of gap here, but that won't matter because all this is going to be tight, and this is just going to be stabilized, stationary bar. This is what moves. Is the limit switch that's up in the arm. The limit switch rides along this arm here. You have a lower limit switch. Let me flip this over and I'll show you, and you can see what I'm talking about. Oh, you can't unless I move it. Let's move it up. Okay, right here you can see they put a screw in to hold the lower limit switch in so it doesn't get pushed backwards. Up on top, they didn't have a screw in there because they had it on a very hard wire, like a clothes hanger wire that was stiff, that held it up at the top so it wouldn't come back with it or go forward with it. So what I did is, because I shortened it, I had to cut that hard wire. In cutting the hard wire, I couldn't get it back in there without, when the track ran, it bending that wire really ugly. So that wire is just a wire, just a connector to hold it stiff up here. So what I did is I cut that wire back here, pretty low actually. I cut it back here, cut that hard wire, and then took soft wire and ran it up into the channel, because you got to take it apart. I ran soft wire up in the channel, and then when I got up to this upper switch, because what will happen is when this drags up and comes back down, it's just going to pull the switch with it. So what I did is I drilled a little hole, and I took a little screw and I screwed it in, and then I hacksawed it off, and then I filed it down. So the screw is stuck there now, and so is the limit switch. My limit switch stops me. Let's let you see it. So here we go, it's going. Take it off here, you can hear it going. It's fairly quiet. As it comes up here, you'll see where it stops. So I pretty much have maximum, my maximum width or length. See, and it stops perfect, and it's stopped there every time. So that's absolutely perfect. Now what I've done is I know this is going to be the upper hole right here for that holds the TV, and I had to drill the lower holes to hold the bottom bracket of the TV. And so my TV will fit between there, which puts me right in the middle, right about here, somewhere in this range. And that'll fully elevate and collapse the televator. Now, so this costs $265. The closest competitor to it is the Quiet Lift or the Tombstone Lift or something like that. Those are $450 to $550 in that range. And both of those are short lifts like this. They lift higher, and if you've got to lift a taller TV, then you might want to do that. This, I only need to lift 43-inch TV. A 43-inch TV is 23 inches in height across, so my movement here is about 24 inches, so it'll be perfect. Actually, it's 22 inches, so my movement will be perfect. The thing you gotta ask yourself is it worth $200 to make this modification? If you're I mean, I'm okay. I'm not great by any means. If you don't have a little bit of a skill set, you might not want to do it. And if you are looking at it and trying to limit its upper movement because you don't like that it drives all the way, if you have one and you don't like that it drives all the way to the top, you pretty much got to take the whole assembly apart, take these rails off, clip the hardwired limit switch that's hardwired in there. You'll have to clip it and move it back. It's a little bit of a task. So if you're not up to that, you might want to spend the extra $200. I was up to the task. I've got it done. It's complete. It runs just like I want it, I think. But now I have to test it with a TV on it. But this took 9 o'clock. It's now 1:30. Because I thought I could just do it by cutting off the top and doing it real easy, and it didn't quite work that way. I did definitely have to disassemble this and take this off and cut the hard wire back here and run soft wire up. And you got to kind of pack it out of the way. That's the problem. Once I packed it out of the way and I put that little limit screw up here so the limit switch won't move back on me, perfect. So far I've cycled it about 10 times with no failure. Now I just did these 2 screw holes, and now I've got to reassemble it and give it a test with disassembled, and then I'll also give a test with a cardboard cutout of the TV, and I'll show you that. So, okay guys, so here is the unit itself. This bracket will sit in like so. Perfect, here to here. So I have to clear, because this is my 33 inches. This is exactly where the TV will be just under the window, right there. Plank up here, you know, where this will cover the TV. I just want to make sure this isn't moving. I don't think it is. That's why I put that other piece there. And like I said, I cut out, you know, a good 10 inches of its movement. And I clear it by an inch. Clear it by an inch there, which is good. So I guess that means I got to be at the very top. My TV has to sit right at the very top right there. Which is good, that's fine. I'm okay with that. It's pretty scary tearing up something that's $265. Going, well, should I have put another $200 into it, and then I wouldn't have had to tear it up and I wouldn't have risked it, but I wanted to take the risk because I figured I could do it. My only concern was when I cut that bar, how I was going to reattach that at the top. Not exactly how I thought I was going to attach it, but it works, so I'm okay with that. So my piece of wood will come up. I'll route some of that out so it sits flatter, and I'll put angle brackets here. Well, heck, I wouldn't even have. Yeah, I'll just put angle brackets, and then the wood will sit up here, and then it'll come up and down.
To like, share, and subscribe, click the logo to the left.